Wah! What's happening, folks? It is more official than a ref with a whistle, and you're back with me on Rated PG. And we also have a broski.
Cam Drosky.
Hey! Hey! We should make that a thing. It's been 95 episodes. It is always a thing. I believe this is 96. That's what it do with the shits. But folks, we have our very, very special guest. It is Ace Boom Coon got me started, and he's also slick. Everybody make some noise for Bag Rik.
Glad to be here.
Yes, folks. And always, you can follow me on Instagram at PDiddyBoppa, PDIDDYBOPPAH. And Cap?
I am KAPDROSKI. I'm the first white guy to pop up.
Yes, indeed. And do you have the grams of the Instas?
Yep. You can just Google Nickel Bag, not Nickelback, Nickel Bag. Rik, R-I-K, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the interwebs, social medias. That's where I am found.
And your Rik is R-I-K.
Yeah, not R-I-C-K. You look for R-I-C-K, you're going to find the wrong motherfucker.
I also had a moment, I'm not sure, I know I can't spell, but I was trying to find your name earlier, and I typed in Nickel, N-I-C-K-L-E. Is that not how you spell nickel?
No, it's E-L. If you spell it that way, it's Nickley.
English is dumb.
You can look at it on the coin, so it is definitely N-I-C.
Yeah, I'm just dumb then. Okay, whatever.
So,
You'll say palabras.
I veces, at times. But shows I got coming up today is February 10th. I will be in Murfreesboro. Is that Murfreesboro, Tennessee? Smokes and Jokes. The 13th, I will be at Cap Comedy. That is in Jonesboro. Valentine's Day, I'll be at the Omni Hotel, the Best of Atlanta, at 8 and 10:30. The 15th, that is my show I'm hosting on Stand-Up Saturdays at Cafe Zodiac Bar and Grill. Pull up like the bar. 20th, I will be at the Vista Room for another Best of Atlanta show in North Decatur. 22nd, another Best of Atlanta show starts at 8 p.m. back at the Omni Hotel. Pull up. Shows.
I've got coming up on February 13th at the Earl and Rachel Smith Strand Theatre, my 4th comedy Heartbreakers show. It's 8 comics.
I was on it once.
You sure were. Both of you.
How about that?
I was going to say, y'all both done it. So, yeah, I've got Erica Benefield, Eric Dallas, Jessica It's All Good. I have Laura Austin. I have Allison Summers out of Nashville. I have Average Joey. I have Ty Colgate.
Hey.
So it's going to be a great lineup. The band's called I'm With Cupid. It's only $10. Tickets are on sale at the box office or online at earlsmithstrand.org. So please buy tickets. Put some asses in those seats. Come out and have a cheap date for Valentine's Day. It's even like a pre-cum. You get it before Valentine's.
Right. You get a little taste when you spray the paste.
That's
right.
right.
What you're doing. I see what you're doing there. Any other shows?
I do have a show in Dallas, Georgia on Monday, April 20th, 420, imagine that, for a big 420 show. Other than that, I'm just really kind of concentrating on just my regular go up open mic comedy night every Wednesday night in the Lumiere Lounge at the Earl and Rachel Smith Strand Theatre. It's free, 21 and up.
Free 99.
Free 99. I'm going on my 5th year too, so.
But how did you get started with the Strand, by the way?
Well, back about 6 years ago, I worked in music for a long time, and me and David Roper, I'm sure y'all know Roper, we worked together, and he left to go bartend at the Strand, and he opened up the comedy room, which I always thought was really kind of crazy because David was a musician. He was never really looked at as a comedian, and he was always sending me invites to this open mic, and I was really curious because it's like, I've known you since the 7th grade. I've never known you to be a funny guy, you know?
Not even once. Like,
well, I mean, just comedy just didn't fall into that thought process with him. But I was really curious because he was really relentless in sending me invites all the time. And so I told him, this was like right around Christmas in December of 2015. I said, look, when Christmas and New Year's is over, I work on Wednesday nights, but I will take a night off. I will come down and see this. I got to see this, because it looks like it's picking up some steam here. And he said, okay, well, as fate would have it, on January 1st of 2016, they closed my music store down. I was out of a job, way to start the year. So I called Roper and said, anything popping at the Strand? And he goes, yeah, I think I can get you a job bartending. So I started like 3 days after that. And then he kept saying, well, come down to the comedy room. You know, he was like, you got to, you know, you need to have a name down here so people know who you are. And I'm like, why? You know, I mean, I'm not anybody. He goes, yeah, but I listen to your podcast, which is Pod Vomit on iTunes and Stitcher. You can Google that. We're everywhere as well. And he's like, your stories are really funny. Your shows are really good. I just think you would do really well doing this. And I was like, I am curious, but I'm not just going to go up there on a whim and just do it because you think so. I want to think about it. So for about 4 weeks, I kept going and meeting people. And then I thought maybe I'll write jokes. And I tried to, you know, pass off jokes. It's like, what do you think of this? They're like, you should tell this. So after about 3 or 4 weeks, I went up last.
Headliner.
Yeah. Well, and I guess. And I just kind of riffed 8 minutes on stuff that I had worked on for the last few, you know, weeks as I was meeting people and watching people and everything. And then I did really well. And he had his first big show that following Friday. It was the very first big comedy show since the Strand reopened, you know, when they got restored and everything. So me, my then girlfriend, my podcast partner, his then wife, and some other friends all went down there. And just to see the show, we're sitting in the audience. And about 3 comics in, I get a text saying, you need to come backstage. There's a comedy emergency. And I was like, those 2 words don't even belong in the same fucking sentence,
Right.
You know. And so I go backstage, and he said, well, Clint Greer's supposed to be on this show, but he's having car trouble. I need somebody to take his place. And I was like, what, do you need help? I mean, there's a bunch of people back here, you know? He goes, no, I want you to do it. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. He's like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I was like, David, there was like 15 people last Wednesday. There's like 150 people out there. Big difference. So I just thought to myself, well, me and Dorilio went outside, and he's like, I think you can do this, man. I think you can really do this. Just try it. So I was like, this is either going to go really, you know, bad or really good. Let's see. So went on, did 8 minutes, did extremely well. I was shocked. I mean, as it was happening, because I was only just used to talking into a microphone in a studio and trying to make my podcast partner laugh, not an ocean full of strangers. You know?
Right.
So
I was shocked.
I was.
This is going really well for me.
And as it was happening, I'm like, they are buying this shit. You know? Wow.
Right, whoa.
So as I was leaving the stage and handing the microphone over to David, I just said to myself, you know, this is all I want to do for the rest of my life. I found what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, man.
And then I went and partnered with him at the open mic, and then he stayed for about another year and a half and left to go on the road with H.T. Rosen and the Kind. And the Strand said, we're just going to put it in your name. And for the last 2 years, now going on to my 3rd out of the 5, it's been my room solely. So.
And he's never missed a Wednesday night.
Not once. Not in from the day I started going down there, I have yet to miss a Wednesday night.
Like, that's consistent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know who could. I mean, I would go down there with walking pneumonia if I had to, and stay with a coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would still be there.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm resisting the urge to say something that might be taken as racist, but it's okay. Fuck it, Kung Flu. That's what you should call it, bro.
Well, I always say if you get coronavirus, make sure that you garnish it with a little bit of Lyme disease.
Woo.
I don't want to sound like a Black Power Ranger about the Chrome design, so I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep my stuff to myself.
You gotta do it now. Everyone else did it. Fuck it.
Man, I'm gonna sound like Sham. Fuck it. Alright. Man, alright. You remember, because everybody's old enough, you remember when that KFC came out with the skinless chicken and
Yes.
shit?
Oh,
and it was
God.
a big craze.
Yes.
And then Oprah went on there and gave away coupons that were literally the same things you get in the mail.
Right.
And people just lost their shit.
Yep.
And then ran out of chicken.
Right.
And then when it came back, what happened? In a whole different area for no apparent reason, apparently the swine flu broke out. The same shit just happened with this Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It just disappeared for a long time.
And then it just
when
boom.
it came back, fucking coronavirus popped up somewhere else. That's why I'm like,
This is an order of how this happens.
I mean, I ain't trying to be no Power Ranger. I just like nobody's noticed that. Like I'm the only one.
I had questions when that chicken sandwich came out, then it came back, and I was like, bro, I'm suspicious. They're like, what do you mean? I said, bro, okay, first of all, ran out of chicken. United States wide.
And you're a chicken place.
Right, ran out of chicken. Cool, I get that. And I was like, but what I don't understand is how suddenly we're not even close to running out of chicken, and nobody's heard of like a mass murder of chickens.
Right.
No disease.
All the chickens are straight.
No chicken genocide at all.
Right. Like we ain't wiped out all the chickens yet.
And other like churches, Mrs. Winter,
Bruh.
Nobody.
They've got
KFC.
They stocked up. You know.
And at the same time, like, why is it that all the stuff that is Black Power Ranger shit, all the stuff that's like really positive about black people that's happening right now, most black people that you go and promote that have their own business and food are vegans.
Yeah.
The fuck this sandwich come from?
Right.
This is what makes CNN news, not slutty vegan?
I've often wondered this. I mean, what if the Impossible Whopper is just hamburger?
Hamburger.
I mean, like, it tastes just like beef. How do you fucking know? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, we just fucking with you. You know.
Like, we just called it impossible.
Right. So I don't know. I'm skeptical. That's a good point though about the
Cap and his conspiracy theories.
That's an upcoming show.
Cap's conspiracies, no cap.
The Capdella effect.
I like that. No, what was the other one? I was gonna say the Da Vinci Code. Cap edition.
Cap edition. Late night.
Late night with Cap. So I want to talk to y'all about chicken.
Yeah.
First,
Well, hey, I've got my Cobzilla shirt on.
bruh. Like if you all, they killed 7 Cobzillas, and that's how they manufactured all the chicken in the
Maybe
world.
Cobzilla's responsible for all this chicken.
I should have said shit.
You know, Big Brother's listening. But let me ask you this, Rick. What's your definition of a bomb?
Getting zero reaction and just nothing but coughs and
That's a response right there.
throat clearings into the. I think that is the bomb. When
It's like, so what do you guys think about cell phones?
we all have them. Okay.
I remember once I was like, is this thing on? And somebody was like, yes. And then laughter, not from me, and I was like, cool. I don't know, like we've always talked about a couple of different answers or responses I've got to that question. One of my buddy was like, if at any point you have the crowd and then you lose them, like you say one thing and nobody reacts to it, and it was like, plane goes down.
Yep.
Because even if you bring it back up, it still went down. And I was like, okay, I consider that. Okay, that's like a personal.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think if you can win them back, I don't think they look at it as hard as you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you will walk off the stage and make that drive home eternalized. that a few seconds of just death. And the rest of your set and your ending can be fantastic.
But that moment
that will stick with you, man. I mean, like coronavirus.
I've done that a lot lately, and then like 3 days later, I'm like, hey, somebody told me I should get that tape.
Yeah,
right.
Well, you know what sucks too? I mean, there's nothing worse than when you really have them in the palm of your hand. You can feel it, like they're there, and then all of a sudden it's just like they're just like a vindictive girlfriend. They're like, "Fuck you, bye." And you're like, "Wait, what happened? Everything was going good a minute ago."
They don't like you.
Right.
They don't like your face. They don't want you there.
Right.
They kind of hate you.
They're looking at their watches.
Man.
Gonna
And then when all other comics there, they know you brought them back with the magic word. You just pulled out are you hungry? And you did your closing joke, and then it brought them back, and it's like, yep, I know, don't talk to me.
That's like when I started bombing, and I'm like, so I speak a few languages. If I ever just bring that out, I've been bombing. This is my saving grace. And if that don't, bro, that moment when your best joke don't hit the stroke.
Oh, I hate it when you. Like I did it was about 2-3 years ago. It was a sold out punchline show.
Nice. That's a big crowd.
And it was a features. It was features like me, HT was up there, Keith Van, and it was really good show. I was actually really nervous before I even did the show for like a week. I just was like, oh God, this has got to go well, and then so it did. It was so good and everything, and I was really happy. I left on a really high note. The next night, played this show up in Cumming, Georgia, which was like a pizza place type, but it was a feature set, it was like from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. And what has even made it worse is there's some drunk woman in the audience. And you got to remember, this is Forsyth County. Now, I know y'all know the history of Forsyth County, Georgia. Okay, there's a woman up there, and Lance Burston was up talking, and she said, I mean, I don't remember how the context went, but she started screaming white power.
What the fuck?
You talk about that bond. And she's like, no, you don't understand. You don't got to explain this, honey. No, we're in Forsyth, you yelling white power, you're trying to make us understand what you're saying. It's loud as a fucking bell.
2 words.
So,
side note, I pray for the day that I'm on stage.
And somebody screams out.
No, somebody just yells out Dave Chappelle references and I can riff off of you now?
Right.
Oh my God. Like, I would just go immediately into breathing the white man's ass.
White power. I couldn't finish my set.
That's my set from now on. I'm just doing this at you. And then I'm walking the fuck off.
Yeah, that was the like I said.
Was this your set?
No.
Lance.
I think Lance was up there. H.D. Aaliyah Goshish was up there. I was up there. Garrett Hayes was up there, and even I think Will Foskey was there. We were all just like dumbfounded. Like, we've seen some fucking crazy shit in comedy. But,
oh my God,
this is like shot up the charts to fucked up.
Right. Wow.
Bruh, it's never me. Like, I want to be there for those moments.
I've seen people jump up on stage and like, don't be talking about me. Woody woo woo woo. Like, I've seen that, but white power, that's impressive.
The closest thing I had was I did a show in Charleston, like when I was 4 or 5 months into comedy, and I was number 6. 5 comedians went up and did slavery jokes.
Oh shit.
4 of them was smacking. I'm outside the door like, what the fuck is going on? That started so early. I'm here from Atlanta. I'm like, I'm already like sitting there. I'm like, this shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
And of course the guy goes right in front of me, fucking bombs, like eat shit on the same shit. I guess he didn't have his slavery material worked out yet. And then I go on stage and I'm like, yo, you couldn't make a boat funny?
Wow.
Like, and I'll never reference anything else from that. Like, cause he just fucked it up. I'm like, all right, cool. I can stay away from this. Who eats ass?
Now who eats ass?
Anybody here?
Yeah.
But what was your most memorable bomb?
The most memorable bomb I ever had was when I probably had been into comedy for maybe about 6-7 months.
Nice.
And
feeling yourself.
Yeah, and I had a really decent set and everything. And back, I guess this was like 2016, World of Beer over in Kennesaw had an open mic every Monday night. And it ran through several people. I think it started out with Clint Greer and E. Craig started, I want to say. And everybody would show, it was a good crowd of comics that would show up. They had a killer stage. I always loved the pictures on this place because it looked great. But the crowd was kind of iffy because it was, well, you know how it is doing bars. You know, you go in, there's TVs on, there's people that are like, what's going on? There's a comedy show. What's the fuck? So they're not really there per se for comedy. So you have to work extra hard. And I think when you're first getting into comedy, that's important to do rooms like that. So you understand that resistance. Right. So apparently a couple of weeks before that, I'm not 100% on the details, so don't hold me to it, but I know that Clint was no longer working with E. Craig as a partnership. I don't know if it was World of Beer or Clint's decision. I don't know what happened. But nevertheless, E. Craig was very unhappy about this. So we get out there, and it's in the summer, and Clint has the list, and it's me and Karen Dion are sitting like right up front, and Clint brings E. Craig up, and he's, you know, Clint doesn't say anything disparaging, anything, nothing about what's been happening. He just says the introduction. E. Craig gets up there and stands on the stage for 5 minutes and even wait for the light and just railing on Clint, man. Just coming hard on. And me and Kara's looking at each other like, she goes, man, I'd hate to have to follow this shit when you go up. And I was like, next.
Nice.
And it was no coming back, man. I mean, it was like, it wouldn't have mattered if, and I thought my set was still really good, but I think from everybody from, you know, after me,
the energy was just,
it was sucked out the fucking room and moved to another part of the world, man. It was that bad. I mean, to the point while I know where certain jokes will hit. It was like I may have been in the shower telling them because that was
my
the reaction.
God.
It was that bad, you know.
Oh my God.
So that was my most memorable and probably worst bomb ever.
And how long did it last?
Well, my set was like 5 minutes, so that was a long goddamn 5 minutes.
Woo!
So that was my most memorable one because, and A.K.A was taking such joy in just ripping on old young Clint, man.
Laughing at himself.
Yeah.
I'm fucking killing me.
Yeah. And Clint was just, I mean, I'm watching him the whole time, and it was just like, he was just like, wide-eyed, like, fuck, yeah. And then I got to go back up there and go, hey, Craig, everybody, you know. It was just fucked up, man. But
I've been so excited.
I was like, I miss all the good shows. But I'll tell you another funny story real quick. I won't make it real long. One of the funniest things I've ever seen on stage was about 2 or 3 years ago. There's a place over in, I think in Alpharetta. It's up on 400. It's called Fire and Brimstone.
I want to eat crazy on show.
He ran it longer than anybody. When it first started, Derillo started it, okay?
Oh.
And then it went through like a guy named Scott Bogarts had it for a minute, and then E-Craig got it. E-Craig, it lasted the longest of anybody that ran it. So the very opening night, we were all going out there to support, you know, Derillo and everything. Had a very good lineup of people. We're all hanging out over there, and everybody's doing their set. It's killing. It's doing good. The room's into it. So I did my set. We're sitting in the back. It's like me. Greg Gilly was there. And,
Big Dick Dude.
But so there's these two guys walk in, and I can only describe them as looking very close to like a Jewish Blues Brothers. It was two guys, one with a briefcase. They stood against the wall, and then Jarrell goes up on stage to introduce the next comic. He thinks they're like owners, and he's like, y'all give it up for, you know, and everybody's clapping. These guys walk on stage and go, are you, you know, Derillo Ledger? And he goes, yeah, and puts his hand out, and they go, you've been served.
No.
And served him on stage with papers.
No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Goofy. You see, that's the downfall of being a comedian. Because
where
you
you
post
are.
where you are.
That's right.
You say when you gonna be there and how long you gonna be on stage.
I ain't gonna lie. While you already in it, part of the rule is they gotta put that shit in your hand.
They do.
So I got one hand in this, the other hand in my goddamn pocket.
And they left. Those guys, as soon as they put him in his hand, they just walked out the fucking door. They were gone.
You see, and that's why I'm gonna change my name on all my social media to literally Piere Escargot. So they're like, are you Piere Guyton? Never heard of him.
Yeah.
You know who's performing tonight? Yeah, Piere Escargot.
Yeah.
Never heard of that other guy. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's not a stage name. Come on.
Right, like I can see the confusion.
But you just always go, he was just here, but now he's going over to do, you know, hole in the wall. Go check over
Right,
there.
I would go there, you know. Escargot is
He's gone.
it's not even related.
You should get a Cash App card. You can put whatever name on you want to.
Boo! And like when I tell people I got warrants, they think I'm kidding. No, Escargot's the name. But what's something that you learned from doing stand-up comedy that you wish somebody may have would have told you when you got started?
Well, I mean, I've been in the music business for a long time, and you know, so it's
Or entertainment.
well, yeah, and so I kind of already understand, you know, the pitfalls and things like that. But you know, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I just think I've kind of just figured it out on my own. Just you know, I don't. I think if I was going to give somebody advice into it, it's like number one, don't expect to be rich. Okay.
At all.
I mean, you know, the people that make it never even realize they were going to make it. Everybody starts at the same place. Don't burn yourself out, and you know your limitations as well. You know, and write all the time.
Please.
You know, that's the other thing, and I think, you know, I think that's what I would tell somebody, because I just kind of fell into it backwards and started just going, okay, well, this is what's happening. And what I did, I was like a sponge. I would go to rooms and I would watch comics. I would watch Netflix specials on comics I'd never heard of, because I'm like, well, they got a fucking Netflix special. So I just go, I don't know who they are. I mean, they've worked hard enough to get a Netflix special.
Right.
So I would watch.
Turn your damn phone off.
We're going live on Facebook, y'all. But so I just thought, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. I need to learn as much as I can as far as writing aspect, networking aspects, just learn, absorb it, and try
Be
to
involved.
Well, and I had an advantage on being involved by accident, just having that room and being there. So I just thought, well, I need to make myself just more available to people, let them know who I am, and try to be more in the scene. So I would just say, don't stop writing, and just try to find your voice, and you're comfortable, you're being comfortable on stage, and tape yourself, watch your moves and stuff like that. Listen to yourself.
I hate watching tapes.
Well, but I mean, I agree. At the same time, you also notice things that you might want to correct. Like some people will inadvertently get up there and say or they have like a safe word in their.
I'll leave you guys with this.
Motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Cap, for example, curses a whole lot. Like when he's like kind of trying to find something to say or thinking about where he's gonna go next, he's like, shit, goddamn, fuck these hoes. You know what I'm saying? He don't say fuck them hoes, but it is a lot of shit, goddamn.
Not in the joke, but literally like in the in-between. Like when I'm in my mind trying to figure out which joke to do. Like, if I don't know what whole set I'm gonna do, you pretty much tell. There'll be some motherfuckers a whole 2-3 minutes of just silent, no cussing, and then, oh shit.
Right.
And then like another 2-3 minutes, like, yeah, I was trying to think, man.
Like me, I've learned to pause. Or literally, I'll say a joke, or if I don't know what to say next, I'll end the joke or whatever, and I'll do a little hesitation. Even if they don't laugh, I'm like, all right, I think we can all acknowledge I was not the way we're supposed to feel about that joke. Okay.
Well, I think the pause is very important. Joe Byers does he used to do this thing. I don't think he's doing it any longer. It was called the Right 10 Club. He'd do it every morning. And there you go, hot breath. Yeah. And that's one of the things I talked to him about. I said I really enjoyed that segment that he did about embracing the pause and understanding the pause and how to react to the pause. And I think a lot of people don't think about that. That's a good thing to bring up, especially if you're on stage, because it is a one-way conversation. But if you have them captivated, and then all of a sudden there is that sort of, I've got to segue into something else, or I'm trying to remember what the fuck I want to do, or if you're Cap, you can cuss for 2 minutes.
So y'all bitches be fucking with us.
But I just found that to be extremely insightful as far as somebody being on stage, and what an observation to look at as far as somebody being on stage, is that pause.
I'm cussing all the time.
Not all the time.
Just when you're on stage, in the middle.
Just when I have a microphone to yell at the people.
Yeah, but if I know what I'm doing, it's probably gonna be literally 3-4 cuss words, like for 12 minutes.
Right.
But
you put them all together.
Yeah, if I put them all together, it's like, hey.
No, we got about a good solid 5 minutes left. You have any questions, Mr. Capdrowski?
Yeah, I will be at the Bodega on Old National.
Bodega?
Yeah, on February 18th.
That's Sarah's birthday.
Yeah, I got skipped. This hosted by Silly Me and Tobias. And then I got some other stuff, but I'll go to the next one. How did you get involved in the comic books?
Me and my best friend Justin Simmons, he started this company about 2.5 years ago called Mind Invader Comics right here. And
Plug.
We, over the last couple of years, have just, we're huge fans of comic books and all sort of eras of comics. We're just not Marvel fans. We're all over the place, So, as often as we hung out and things, we had these stories, and we started just trying to come up with these ideas, but things that would kind of be set aside, as far as not just your average retold story. Right now, we're currently working on we've got one comic book that we're about the end of. It's called Tales Out of School. And it's pretty much Creep Show meets The Breakfast Club. And the one that I'm writing right now, and he's doing all the illustration, is called Area 51, the comic. It's about the whole Storm Area 51 memes, and it's a whole kind of adventure story where we find an alien and have to get it to Area 51, but in the meantime we battle Kyles and Karens and cheek clappers and Naruto runners.
Cheek clappers, okay.
Yeah, White Claw, and all this stuff. So it's a whole kind of adventure story on that. And then the other thing that we have kind of created a monster, so to speak, is Cobzilla. And it's a take of Godzilla versus the Big Chicken, kind of all in one.
Bruh.
And it started out just in a kind of conversation, and then one day we were in the studio and he kind of said, "Hey, do you think we should like do prints of this thing?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So now we've done several prints. We've even made Cobzilla where Cobzilla's versing other mascots, like since the Marietta Blue Devils won the state champions this last, I think it was this year, that we have Cobzilla versus the Big Blue Hemoth, which is a big blue devil. We have Cobzilla versus the McCracken, which is Johnny McCracken's. It's a big like squid octopus thing that's fighting in beer. There's another one's going to be for Cool Beans on the Square, and we're doing ones for KSU. And
So we're all things kind of local to Cobb
all
County?
Cobb County, yes, it's all Cobb County, because it's right there in the center, and the Big Chicken's got just a long history of just being basically the map, the center of the map in Cobb County to find shit. And nobody's ever done anything like this, so we started doing the Cobzilla thing, and we're selling T-shirts, and you can get T-shirts on Storefront Tier / Mind Invader Comics, and we have several versions, and we also sell prints and stickers.
And all of these links are on your social media, your
Yes,
Facebooks?
absolutely, yep. We
Boom,
pimp
boom,
that
boom.
all the time.
So how did you get to meet Kevin Smith?
Well, I've met Kevin 3 times. I've met Jason twice. The first 2 times I met Kevin was just kind of random things, leaving the show. I ran into him at the Improv, and I talked to him just for about a minute, and then I also met him leaving center stage one night, and I kissed him on the cheek. And
Nothing major.
well, I mean, I'm a huge Kevin fan. I love Kevin and everything. I love his movies. I love his kind of tenacity as a guy that just kind of fell into something and ran with it and did well, and does what he likes. And that's the most important thing. So when I kissed him on the cheek, I was like, he'll remember me next time I meet him. So when I met him the last time at Center Stage for the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, I said, last time you were here on the 17th on 420, I kissed you on the cheek. He goes, yes, I remember that. And he was like, that was you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, so this time, I'm not going to do anything that forward. I just brought you a humongous blunt of Purple Punch since we're a non-smoke state. So he was like, oh, dude, that is so awesome. I stuck it in his lapel pocket. And then he goes, well, look, I'll tell you what, let's trade. And he gave me a joint of the Caviar Gold Snoogans. And me and Justin smoked a little bit of that. And that's probably some of the best pot I've ever smoked in my life, man. It was amazing.
Well, thank you, Kevin Smith.
Yes, thank you.
Well, folks, we are at the end of the episode here on Rated PG. And it has been trap-tastic and oh so super having you here, Mr. Rik Wayne, Nickel Bag Rik. And folks, you can follow him, like you said, on the social medias at the correctly spelled Nickel, Nickel.
R-I-K.
Boom. And folks, we'll be black. If that's all white with you, au revoir. We'll bid you adieu. Salutations, folks. Heard.
All right.
And adios. Au revoir.
Stay in the car, Marty.
Auf Wiedersehen. Stay in the car, Morty.